Hi, so I want to talk about the really anticipated release of of Luminar with libraries. There's been a lot of hype about it. There's been a lot of people that have been showing the beta of Luminar with libraries and showing how great it is and how wonderful it is. Well, I have to say that I'm very underwhelmed by this version of Luminar. Let me show you. Let me start it up. But let me show you the machine I'm running this on. And I'm running it on a Mac, an iMac, a 21.5 inch Mac, late 2013. It has a 2.9 gigahertz Intel iCore processor, and it has 8 gigabytes of RAM. It has what they call a hybrid drive, which means it has a 128 gig SSD drive, which is where all your programs normally run from. It has a NVIDIA GeForce GT750 video card with a gigabyte of RAM on the video card. So this system is totally rated to be able to run Luminar. So that I just wanted to show you that. Now, let me show you. I'm going to open up Luminar on my computer, and I'll show you what happens. Looks good so far. Okay, and now it's loading, and look and watch what we get. We get that little wheel, spinning colorful wheel, and that wheel is going to spin for about 8 minutes before Luminar is fully loaded onto my computer. Now, once it loads, it works fine, but it takes about 8 minutes for this program to load onto my computer. So while this is loading, I want to talk to you about another program that I recently started using, which is called On1 Photo Raw 2019. And this is also a non-destructive RAW editing program that also has a DAM on it too, a digital asset management feature on it. So let's open that up while we're waiting for Luminar to open up. And here it comes. And we'll see how long it takes to load up. And okay, so here are some images that I took in Death Valley, and as you see, it loaded up pretty fast. Now it's taken a little bit of time to move through these pictures, but mostly that's because I have 2 programs running right now, and my RAM is down to 1.7. I have like 2 gigs of RAM left to run on, and one of the reasons is, let's look back at Luminar. Oh, I can't even get Luminar to come up. And here you go. There you go. Luminar is still loading. So let's go back to On1 again. Okay. So yeah, these are some images that I took in Death Valley. And some of the dunes. Some came out pretty nice. Let me go down here to some of the pictures I took, like say this one here. Now, as you can see, when I pick a picture, it gives me the full information on the picture with all my metadata. First it gives me my camera, my basic info, my camera, the ISO I shot at, the shutter speed, the f-stop, any exposure compensation that I was using. It shows me the file size. This is on my my Sony a6500 that I took these pictures on. And then down here you have the metadata, you have the file name, the size, you have all the other information that was up top there. The focal length was 67 millimeters. It just shows you all that information here. I shot it on 18 to 135. And also, you can also assign keywords to your pictures in On1 Photo Raw, which Luminar doesn't have that yet. You can create your own keywords. And over on this side, you have the folders. And it's just like Luminar, where it runs pretty much off your folder system on your computer. And if you'll notice, I have 2 sets of folders here. And these are the actual folders on my computer, and this is a catalog folder on one, which creates virtual folders. Which the reason you do that is over here. It's creating thumbnails for me so that your images will come up a lot quicker. Now they recommend that you just do it with the, basically, I probably shouldn't have done this one as well as this one because there's a lot more images on here too, so it's taken longer. But basically what this does is when you create a catalog folder and you bring one of your folders from down here into there, it just makes them, you just get quicker access that way to your images. They come up a lot faster. You can also you can hook your this program up with Dropbox, Google Drive, or OneDrive. You can also create albums, virtual albums. You can create smart folders, smart albums. You can rate all your images. As you can see right here, you can rate your images. Right here, you can rate it by color, by stars. You can rate it at, you can rate it as a favorite. Okay, so you can do that. What are some other things you can do on this program? Well, if you go over to the develop module, which you hit the hotkey is D for develop module. Okay, and now I'm in the develop module, and it's pretty nice module. You have all the basic adjustments that you want to do when you first open up an image. Let's just go do a quick, well, wait a minute. Let's see how Luminar is doing. Oh, it won't open. Oh, Luminar is still loading. Okay, let's go back and look at on one some more. Okay, so yeah, it has all the basic features. You can, I see this picture definitely needs a little more contrast. I'm going to bring my highlights down to bring that sky in a little more. Bring my midtones up or down, I'm not sure. Bring my whites. Let's look at our levels up here. It gives you, here's your levels. Yeah, I think I can bring some more whites into this picture. So I'm going to bring some more whites in. Move that over a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna I kind of like a little more contrast still. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to put a little structure into this image. And I'm going to bring the haze down. Ooh, starting to look nice. And a little bit of vibrance maybe. Not too much, don't want to go crazy. So I might be overdoing a little bit this on this image. I just want to show you some of the things this does. I'm not going to do any of the sharpening here because I'm going to show you something in a minute that I like to do. Lens correction, Sony, it says no match. I don't know why it says that. But anyway, it should match up with my, I think I used a 18 to 135 on this image. See if that shows a Sony. Oh, maybe that's too new. It should be on here though, because I just upgraded this. 18 to 55. Let's see. I don't see the 18 135. Okay, well, if you don't have, if it doesn't have it, you can actually manually do this as far as lens distortion and things like that. If you want to change the lens distortion or something like that, but actually it looks pretty good just the way it is. Okay, so basically those are some real basic edits, okay, that I just did just now, and I think I would like to bring the highlights down a little bit more. Bring that sky in a little bit more. Okay, so now I did those basic edits, and now you can go to effects, which you have a whole list of filters here. Okay, antique, black and white, and it shows you on the side here what these filters do: antique, black and white, bleach process. Haven't you ever used that? Blur. You can put borders on your photo. These are two different color adjustment filters: cross processing, curves filter, dynamic contrast filter. Yeah, it goes all the way down. So you have a good amount of filters. HDR look, good amount of filters. Okay, photo filter, sharpening, scan. So let's look at the color enhancer. Okay, and so this gives you some different color enhancers. Well, look, by the way, here's a desert like a preset. So let's click on that and see what that does. Oh, I like it. I think I'm going to leave that like that. Okay. And then if you want to add, say you wanted a, this picture doesn't really need any sharpening, but I really like this sharpening feature here. I usually go to, I created a preset, but I'm going to show you what I do. You go to progressive sharpening. I really like this type of sharpening. And I usually bring it up to about, almost in all my images, I bring it up to about 70, 73 around there, and I bring this up to about 60 something. It just seems to do a really nice job of sharpening without it looking over sharpened. Now this looks really sharp, but it doesn't look weird. Okay, you got a couple people up here. So that's just a real quick edit on one photo raw and what it can do. Now you can go back over here and you can create a, you can go up here, you can add another filter. Say I want to add some more color adjustment, and say I want to do foliage this time. And look how those just greened up really nice all of a sudden. Really nice. So I like this image now. I really do. And it just took, it was really a quick edit. Let's see how Luminar is doing. Oh. Oh, Luminar is still loading. Okay, let's go back to on one again. Okay, so basically that's a nice little edit, and this is all non-destructive. This is still a raw file. Okay, so you didn't do anything that you can't change right back. You didn't lose anything. On one also has, it has a resizing feature where you can resize your images for print. It has an exporting feature where right now it's rendering an image so that I can export it. I wish I had pressed on that because I didn't really want to do that. Okay, so if I wanted to export it, I can export it to wherever I want to go. I can export it to a folder. I can watermark it. I can sharpen it. I can do tiling, gallery wrap. I can set this up for different types of prints. Okay, and I can also just export it as a JPEG to a different folder if I want to. But I'm going to go ahead and cancel that because I don't want to do that right now. Then if I want to go back to browse, this is your editing, and this is your browse. I want to go back to browse. Okay, now we're in browse. Okay, so if I hit my space bar, I bring that up to full view. Now if I want to look at this photo without these sidebars, I click over here, I turn that one off, and I can go over here and click this one off over here. And I can get a really nice view of this image without any distractions. Okay, there is so much more to this program that I'm showing you right now, and but it's really, this isn't a review of On1 Photo Raw. It's a review. It's to show you. I paid. Now On1 was a little more expensive than Luminar. I think you can get Luminar if you got it, if you pre-ordered it for like 50 bucks, which On1 was $100, but it actually has a lot more features than Luminar does have. I don't really see that I want to do, you know, I really like Trey Ratcliffe. I like a lot of his images, but he's a very talented guy. But I don't want the kind of radical editing sometimes that I do. I end up finding myself doing in Luminar because you can. It's actually the editing in On1 to get it as radical as Luminar. You have to work a little harder, and I think that's a good thing. Also, you have over here, you have presets. So you do have a preset, you know, issue here, and you can change this in whatever way you want. I think, yeah, you have different. This is landscape. You can put presets in favorites area. You can create your own. Say there's architecture, black and white, cinematic, color, just a whole set of presets. But you can also create your own presets if you want to. So yeah, you can. Not sure what that does. Anyway, so So this is on one photo roll. I'm in my wrong place again. I'll go back to Death Valley again. Okay. On one would like to access your calendar. Okay. So I did something there. I don't even know what it does. It does a lot of cool stuff, though. I mean, this is a very extensive program. I haven't really touched the surface of what this program can do. Let's take a Luminar. See how Luminar's doing. Ah, we have images on Luminar. So I just hit G to go to the grid feature. Okay, Luminar's loaded now. Okay, all that time we just spent working on one and getting things done, we would have been waiting for Luminar to load. Okay, and these are my images that I have on Luminar. Those are images of when I went to Israel this year. Some friends that I went with. Let me see. It's something good to look at. Here's went to Laguna Beach with my wife and daughter, and we got some cool pictures that day. There's a cool little tower there that somebody built that they live on the cliff there, and they were able to and that's how they got down from the cliff and get down from their houses that's up here and get down to the cliff. So this is Luminar. Okay, Luminar is finally loaded. Okay, this is the library module. Okay, this is the info that they give you. That's all the info you get. You don't get any metadata. You get the basic camera information. The type of camera it was. This was taken with a Sony A7 III. On the lens that you used, the ISO, the f-stop, the shutter speed, the exposure compensation, and the focal length. So that's basically the information they'll give you there. Okay. Now, this is your library. It pretty much works the same way as it does in On One, where this basically is changing on your hard drive as you change it. If you delete an image out of here, it will be deleted off your hard drive. If you create a folder on here, it will be created in your in the Finder as well. So say we go here, we're in here. Okay, so and we're in Laguna Beach, right? Yeah, Laguna Beach. Okay, and these are all the images on Laguna Beach. So anyway, it has the same thing on your Finder as it has on here, and if you change anything here, it will change here, and if you change anything here, it will change here. So that's really advantageous, especially compared to Lightroom, where if you change something in Finder, you had to import it into Lightroom to get it to show on Lightroom. Or even if you saved an image in Lightroom from your editing part of Lightroom and saved it as a JPEG into a folder in Lightroom, you would have to synchronize the folder so you could bring up that image and you could see it in Lightroom. So anyway, this is Luminar with libraries. I would say Luminar's editing feature is very robust. It has a lot of stuff. It has a whole lot of filters. But some of these filters are redundant. They do the same thing. It has these AI enhancer, sky enhancer, and AI filter, accent AI filter. But to tell you the truth, I don't even hardly use those because I don't even like the way they work. And I think I'm giving control away of my image to the computer, which is the whole reason I want editing software and I shoot in RAWs, because I want full control over my image. So I could care less about AI enhancers. I just want a good editing software that I can create images with. Yeah, it's a great program as far as editing, and I'm glad that they added libraries to it. I see it as I see Luminar right now as a program for people to use that don't have the need for all the other features that On One has. On One has a printing feature. There's really no printing feature here, no resizing feature. On1 has it has a much better where are we? Browse. It has a much better metadata. It has keywords. It you know, there's all those things. It's things that someone who has a whole lot of images might want. In Luminar, you can add stars to your features. You can mark features as favorites. You can add color codes to features. You can do all that. There's a lot of good stuff in Luminar, but right now my biggest disappointment is the fact that it's taking 8 minutes for this program to load up on my computer. I contacted Luminar and they said that they were inundated with emails right now, and I get that. They just came out with a new version of their software, but they have a ways to go before they've caught up with people like Lightroom and On1. I think, like, if you're looking for a program to replace Lightroom completely with all the things that Lightroom does, I would go with On1. The only thing that Lightroom has right now, that the reason you can see I still have a version of Lightroom on my computer, which is a standalone version, an old version. The only reason I have that on my computer right now is because they have this really nice print module on Lightroom that On1 will do resizing for printing, but Lightroom has a really cool print module that I really like. And once, I think eventually On1 will probably have that, and then I would just, this program right here, this Lightroom program, will be deleted off my computer to save space. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Like I said, I'm very underwhelmed by the performance of Luminar. One of the things that they talk about is how fast it is. Well, taking 8 minutes to load onto my computer is not fast. That's my thoughts. So anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of my videos, go ahead and subscribe. I like to do gear reviews. I like to do videos on photography, instructional photography. I like to do videos on software and how to use it. Another thing that On1 has, that Luminar has it too, but On1 does it so much better, is when you want to replace a sky, and I'll do a video on that. It just does such a good job, and it's so easy, and it is so real. It looks so good.